Namaste. A very warm good morning to all of you. Welcome to the 64th Institute Foundation Day ceremony. First of all, let me request our Dean, Faculty Welfare, Professor G.C. Mohan Kumar, to escort the dignitaries to the dais. Please, sir. August 6th patently remains etched as a pivotal date in NITK Suratkal's destiny. Pearl Buck, a Nobel Prize winner author, famously put it, quote unquote, "If you want to understand today, you have to search yesterday." Looking back, the sagacious connect between dharma and devotion, elaborated in the Bhagavad Gita, could well have been the reason enough that 64 years back, two visionaries, one a politician and another an entrepreneur and banker, both belonging to Dakshin Kannada, could have imagined setting up of a futuristic technical facility along this coastline, which incidentally has now become an educational hub. The last 6 and more decades of our journey would well have passed through phases that Swami Vivekananda condensed into हर काम को 3 अवस्थाओं से गुजरना होता है. Upahas, meaning unkind or insulting. Virodh, meaning objections or oppositions. And Swikriti, meaning approval or acceptance. And the superstructures that keeps building over the years and the resourcefulness of our alumni stands testimony to the appropriateness and farsightedness of these visionaries. We need to acknowledge that today's assembly of this luminous NITK family, in the presence of a much respected chief guest, another meritorious family member, is an affirmation of our respectful recognition and historic significance that deservedly connects this day with our institute. I can already see that our gathering is eagerly waiting and all ears to some interesting historical narration of our institute, coming from well-informed and respected seniors that has not been documented yet. So while we're getting ready for the smooth conduct of the day's program, I request each one of you to stand up for the invocation song, courtesy our student group, Mr. Vikram and Ms. Chinmay. First will be the Ganapati Stuti, and which will be followed by the Saraswati Vandana.
ವಿನಾಯಕ ನಿನ್ನು ವಿನಾ ಬ್ರೋಚೋಟಕು ವಿನಾಯಕ ನಿನ್ನು ವಿನಾ ಬ್ರೋಚೋಟ ಓ ವಿನಾಯಕ ನಿನ್ನು ವಿನಾ ಬ್ರೋಚೋಟಕು వేరే వరున్నారు విఘ్నరాజ వేరే వరున్నారు విఘ్నరాజ వినాయక अनाथ रक्षक अनाथ रक्षक अनाथ रक्षक नीवे गदा अनाथ रक्षक नीवे गदा आदరించి నన్ను బ్రోవ రాధా ఆదరించి నన్ను బ్రోవ రాధా వినాయక నిన్ను వినా బ్రో చోటకు వేరే వారున్నారు విఘ్న రాజా ವಿನಾಯಕ ಆ
ಸಂಗೀತ ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸಂಚಾರಿಣಿ ಸಂಗೀತ ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸಂಚಾರಿಣಿ ಶೃಂಗಾರ ಶೃಂಗೇರಿ ಪುರವಾಸಿನಿ ಸಂಗೀತ ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸಂಚಾರಿಣಿ ಶಾರದಾ 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 ತುಂಗತರಂಗ ಮಂದಿರವಾಸಿನಿ ತುಂಗ ತರಂಗ ಮಂದಿರವಾಸಿನಿ ಸನ್ನುತ ಶ್ರೀಚಕ್ರ ಮಧ್ಯ ನಿವಾಸಿನಿ ಕಾಲಡಿ ಶಂಕರ ಕಾವ್ಯ ಪ್ರವಾಹಿನಿ ಕಾಲಡಿ ಶಂಕರ ಕಾವ್ಯ ಪ್ರವಾಹಿನಿ ಅಷ್ಟದಿಕ್ಪಾಲಕ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಿಶ್ವಾಸಿನಿ ಅಷ್ಟದಿಕ್ಪಾಲಕ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಿಶ್ವಾಸಿನಿ ಸಂಗೀತ ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸಂಚಾರಿಣಿ ಶೃಂಗಾರ ಶೃಂಗೇರಿ ಪುರವಾಸಿನಿ ಸಂಗೀತ ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸಂಚಾರಿಣಿ ಶಾರದಾ ಶಾರದಾ ಶಾರದಾ
Please settle oneself. Professor G.C. Mohan Kumar, Professor HAG, Dean Faculty Welfare, with a professional experience of 34 years, including 14 years at NITK Surathkal, holds a PhD from the Department of Applied Mechanics, IIT Madras, 1996, ME Design Engineering, Walchand College of Engineering, Sangli, 1991, and a BE Mechanical Engineering from Bangalore University in the year 1985. His areas of interest include mechanical design engineering, experimental and numerical stress analysis, biomechanics, biocomposites, and composites. Sir, I request you to kindly do the honors of welcoming the distinguished guest, the director, and each of today's attendee to this significant milestone in the National Institute of Karnataka Surathkal's calendar. Over to you, sir.
Good morning and greetings of the day to you all. Respected dignitaries on the dais, my colleagues, alumni, invitees, meritorious children, ladies and gentlemen. We celebrate this Institute Foundation Day to remember and respect Sri Srinivasa Malyal and also everyone who served the institute and shouldered in building this institute to a greater height since 60 years or more. On the foundation day of the institute, I especially welcome our beloved director, Professor B. Ravi, the president of this function. Professor B. Ravi will address the faculty and the staff today. This is an important event to everyone in rebuilding the institute to a higher standard by sharing his views and vision to make NITK a great institute. On this occasion, I welcome Professor Ravi to the NITK family and we convey our best wishes to him. I invite Professor Babu Narayan, Dean P&D, to welcome the director with a flower bouquet and honor. I welcome today's chief guest, Air Marshal B. Chengappa, to this function. He is a distinguished alumnus of this institute and graduated in electrical engineering, and also 3 Seva medalists. I welcome him on this occasion as a chief guest. I invite Professor Srikant Rao, Dean ACR, to welcome him with a flower bouquet. I welcome Sri K. Ravindranath, the registrar of this institute, to this function. His contribution to the institute is very significant and is appreciated. I invite Professor S.M. Kulkarni, Dean R&C, to welcome the registrar with a flower bouquet. I welcome all my colleagues, team alumni, faculties, technical and administrative staff, family members, and everyone who shouldered in building this institute. Also, I welcome all meritorious children of our faculty and staff who have achieved a milestone in their 10th and 12th standard examinations. I welcome all deans, associate deans, head of departments, joint registrar, head of sections, technical and administrative staff, students, children, alumni, and the members of ladies and staff club. And again, I will welcome all the invitees to this function. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Professor Vidya Shetty, Dean Academics, to florally welcome our Dean Faculty Welfare, Professor G.C. Mohan Kumar. Thank you, ma'am. I now request our director and other dignitaries on stage to escort our chief guest, Air Marshal Balati Kalanda Uttaya Chengappa, Param Vishisht Seva Medal, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Vishisht Seva Medal, to formally inaugurate today's program by lighting the lamp. Our NITK family proudly celebrates the achievements of each of our members, and we take this opportunity to felicitate 27 meritorious students of our staff members. I request the students to come on stage as I call out their names to receive a memento from our chief guest. Let me start with the 12th standard students. Excellent performance in the 12th standard year 2023. Mr. Nischit S. Jain, son of Mr. Suguna Kumar B. Mr. Akhilesh K., son of Mr. K. M. Naik. Mr. Karthik S. Pujari, son of Mrs. Sandhya. Ms. Deepthi, daughter of Mrs. Prema Shetty. Ms. Deeksha D.S., daughter of Mrs. Sharmila. Mr. Sachin, son of Mrs. Bharati B. Mr. Mithul Baindur, son of Mr. Gangadhara B. Ms. Purvi, daughter of Mrs. Shubha. Mr. Mohan, son of Mrs. Leela. Ms. Dhanyashri S. Devadiga, daughter of Mr. Shankar Devadiga. Thank you, sir. May I now request our director to present a memento to our 10th standard students who have excelled in their performance in the year 2023. Please, sir. Ms. Deepthi, daughter of Mr. Umesh Devadiga, Works Establishment Section, NITK Surathkal. Mr. Prakyat P. Devadiga, son of Mr. Praveen Devadiga, Works Establishment Section. Ms. Jnana R., daughter of Mrs. Geeta R., Audit Section. Mr. Tanishk Y. Anchan, son of Mr. Yatish K. Anchan, Works Establishment Section. He will be receiving the KREC 1981 Batch Alumni Scholarship of Rs 10,000. Ms. Grishma Dinesh Kotian, KREC 1981 Batch Alumni Scholarship of Rs 10,000. She is the daughter of Mr. Dinesh B. Kotian. Department of Mechanical Engineering. Samuel D'Souza, son of Mrs. Sarita M. D'Souza, Academic Section. Ms. Ravia Anchan, daughter of Mr. Yashodhara A., Security Office. Mr. Sanchay S. Shetty, son of Mrs. Surekha Shetty K., Cash Section. Mr. Suhas, son of Mr. Amit Kumar, Works Establishment Section. Ms. Deshna Sanvi M., daughter of Mr. Dayananda, Academic Section. Ms. Sinchana S. Devadiga, daughter of Mr. Shashikant Devadiga, Department of Civil Engineering. And Ms. Mohita S. Devadiga, daughter of Mr. Shankar Devadiga, Security Office. We shall have a group photo now, sir, with all the... they can stand behind. Thank you, sir. Faculties and staff are being felicitated today for their laudable achievements. I request each one to come on stage upon being called by their names and a brief description about themselves to receive a memento from our chief guest, director, and the Dean, Faculty Welfare. Let me begin with the list of faculty members who completed 25 years of service in NITK as on today. Dr. Alvin Roshan-Pais, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Dr. Alvin Roshan-Pais joined the Department of Computer Science and Engineering on 31st December 1997. He holds B.Tech from Mangalore University, M.Tech from IIT Bombay, and PhD from NITK Surathkal. He has successfully completed many R&D projects in the areas of information security and computer vision funded by the Naval Research Board, DST, and Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. He was instrumental in starting the M.Tech CSE Information Security program in the year 2007. He has won many Best Paper Awards, ISEA Travel Fellowship, National Merit Scholarship, etc. He was one of the experts for the Indo-UK workshop on cybersecurity. He has served the Institute as the head of the Department of Computer Science Engineering and Associate Dean for Students' Welfare. He is a sports enthusiast and can be seen playing shuttle badminton every day at the Institute Stadium. Professor B.R. Jayalakshmi, Department of Civil Engineering. Please, ma'am. Professor B.R. Jayalakshmi is a recipient of a postdoctoral research fellowship from IIT Madras 2010, the Women Achievers Award 2017 from the Institution of Engineers India, Karnataka, and is an expert member of the BIS CED 38 Special Structures Sectional Committee. Since joining this institute as an assistant lecturer in 1994, she has sincerely served the department in numerous capacities. She is a devoted educator who specializes in earthquake-resistant structures. She has published over 100 research articles in prestigious international journals and conferences. During her illustrious tenure, she served excellently as a chairperson of the ICC-SH and the head of the Civil Engineering Department. Professor Gururaj S. Punekar, Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. Professor Punekar joined KREC and ITK with a master's degree by research from the High Voltage Engineering Department of IISc Bangalore. Prior to joining the then KREC, he had a 1-year industrial experience at Tata Power Mumbai and 6 years of UG teaching experience. He obtained his PhD from IIT Kharagpur as an external registrant in 2008. Along with teaching, he caters to the testing and consultancy needs of local industries through the high voltage lab that he is in charge of. The lab earns around rupees 30 to 50,000 per year. He has also guided 4 PhDs and 45 MTechs. 2 of his PhD students are working as a faculty. Professor Udaya Bhatt K, Department of Metallurgical and Materials Engineering. Dr. Bhatt K has a BE from KREC, ME and PhD from IISc Bangalore. He joined KREC in the month February 1998 as a lecturer and became a professor in April 2018. He was the head of the department during 2016 to 18. He was also a member of the Board of Governors in ITK Surathkal. He was a founder coordinator and later the chairman for the HIFA-assisted CRF, infrastructure for the CRF and interdisciplinary research. His research interests are physical metallurgy, nanomaterials, surface modification of metals and alloys, material characterization. He has also successfully guided 13 PhDs and about 80 MTech students. Congratulations, sir. Thank you, sirs. May I now request our registrar to hand over the memento to the non-teaching staff. Okay. Thank you. May I now continue with the non-teaching staffs? Mr. Umesha P, AE SG2. Mr. Umesha joined this institution on 24th September 1997 at the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering as mechanic. On 2nd of March 2014, he was promoted as assistant engineer. He was pre-designated to the present position in the year 2019. He served at the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering from 24th of September 1997 till 2022, that is around 24 years and 9 months. He's now serving at the Works Establishment Section. Congratulations, sir. Mr. Subramanya. Mr. Subramanya was born on 5th January 1971 at Navanda, Bayandur, Udupi. He joined the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering on 3rd October 1997. He's blessed with a daughter and a son. His daughter is pursuing engineering at NMA MIT NITE in the stream of information technology. His son is in the 10th standard. Currently, he's working as an assistant engineer in the EC department. During his service at the institute, he has pursued BCA and MCA to get higher qualification. His dedication to service during the last 25 years is commendable. Congratulations, sir. Mrs. Chandravati K. Mrs. Chandravati, office attendant joined this institute on 21st of October 1997. She worked in several departments such as civil engineering, metallurgy, mechanical engineering, CCC, chemical engineering, and central administration. Her dedication to service during the last 25 years is commendable. Congratulations, ma'am. Mr. Suguna Kumar B., Central Computer Center. Mr. Suguna Kumar B. joined the erstwhile KREC as an assistant programmer on 5th November 1997 with a diploma in computer science and engineering. Subsequently, he pursued BCA and MCA. He is presently working as assistant engineer in this Central Computer Center. He has been involved actively in the development of the campus-wide networking of NITK and has actively contributed to establishing important services such as DHCP, firewall, DNS, etc. In implementing and maintaining the server and network for IRIS, he regularly liaises with the IRIS and MIS teams. His dedication and determination in regular and voluntary duties are highly appreciated. Congratulations, sir. Mr. Rangappa Gaudar, Central Computer Center. Mr. Gaudar joined the erstwhile KREC Surathkal as an assistant programmer on 15th January 1998 with a diploma in computer science and engineering. Subsequently, he pursued BCA and MCA. He is presently working as assistant engineer in the Central Computer Center. He has taken an active role in the regular functioning of the computer center and the data center by involving in activities such as installation, configuration, and administration of servers, and troubleshooting LAN, NAC, and internet connectivity issues arising from time to time. The dedication and determination shown by him in his regular and voluntary duties are highly appreciated. Congratulations, sir. Mrs. Sunita A. Mrs. Sunita A. joined as a typist on February 6, 1998, in the typing section of the establishment. After the probationary period, she was transferred to the Central Library on 13th of January 2001. She served there for more than 14 years. She was promoted to senior assistant on March 2nd, 2014. She served in the assistant registrar's office for some time. Thereafter, she served in the SCST cell from 2015 to 2017. Srimati Sunita is now working in the cash section in her capacity as the assistant SG grade 2. She has passed the departmental examination, that is Hindi Praveen, during the year 2022 in first class. Congratulations, ma'am. Srimati Shashi Rekha. Srimati Shashi Rekha joined this institute on 27th of February 1998 as peon on the compensatory ground in the admission section. She has been promoted to the post of attendant with effect from 2019 and again to the post of junior assistant with effect from September 15, 2020. Her performance has always been commendable. Congratulations, ma'am. Mr. Vamana. Mr. Vamana was born on 1st of May 1965 to the late Sri Taniyappa and late Srimati Seethu in a small village called Marakada near Bajpe. He started his career in 1980 as a mason. Later, he worked as an auto driver from 1990 to 1998, and in 1998, he joined NITK as sweeper. For his dedicated activities and continuous hard work, he was promoted to the post of attendant and was posted in the Department of Mechanical Engineering in the year 2013. As an attendant in the Mechanical Engineering Department, he was very active and put all his energy and time into the dedicated service of the department. Congratulations, sir. Srimati Vijayalakshmi Prabha. Srimati Prabha joined the regular service at NITK, the then KREC, on October 3rd, 1997 as a clerk-cum-typist in the Department of Civil Engineering and worked for about 17 years in that department. Later, she worked for 5 years in the resident engineer's office and for 1 year at the hostel office. For the past 1 year, Srimati Vijayalakshmi Prabha is working as Assistant SG Grade 2 in the Accounts Section 3 of the Institute. Congratulations, ma'am. I request all the awardees to please come on stage for a group photo. Thank you, sirs. While we were planning for an introduction of our chief guest, our director wanted it to be done by one among the family members. We didn't have to search long since the president of the Bangalore chapter of our Alumni Association, a 1990 batch mechanical student with an MBA from Narsi Monji Institute of Management, Mumbai, Mr. Niranjan Mahabalappa, a business leader with 3 decades of experience of managing 5,000 plus engineers, came as a natural choice. Starting his career as a senior engineer at Boroka Steel and later worked for Ministry of Finance, Government of India in the role of systems officer. He then had a stint with Mafatlal Consulting as a senior consultant. He was a director in Dell, traveled across the globe, majority of it being the US. He was the business unit head at Tech Mahindra, currently the chief commercial officer of Zapcom Group. He is very passionate of making a difference to the society and led several social impact programs. One of the programs championed by him won the Manhattan Innovation Award for South Asia. I now request him to introduce our chief guest of today's function to all of you. Over to you, sir.
Ma'am, very kind of you. I didn't expect that. It's my privilege to introduce the chief guest of the Foundation Day, Air Marshal Balitakalanda Uttaya Changappa, PVSM, AVSM, VSM, is one of the proud sons of Karnataka who has served the Indian Air Force for 40 years. He was an officer of technical branch of Air Force, held several prestigious appointments, including the principal staff officer to the Chief of Air Staff at the headquarters in New Delhi. He is the son of military officer who served the Indian Army, and he was born at Virajpet in Coorg. He did his schooling in Coorg and graduated in electrical engineering from KREC Surathkal. In 1969, securing first class. First class was a big thing those days. He was selected for Indian Air Force under the university entry scheme and joined Air Force as pilot officer in technical branch. During his glorious tenure in the Air Force, he served the nation in various positions, including command of base repair depot, technical establishment, and key posts in flying stations, operational command, and air headquarters. A highly decorated officer, he has been awarded Air Officer in Command Commendation, Chief of Air Force Staff Commendation, Vishishta Seva Medal, Ati Vishishta Seva Medal, and Param Vishishta Seva Medal for his outstanding contribution for the Indian Air Force. Sir, we are very proud of you. Air Marshal Chengappa has a MBA degree, Fellow of Aeronautical Society of India, and member of Institute of Engineers. He is a good sportsman, plays most of the games, and a good debater right from his school days. As a sportsman from Coorg, it's not surprising that Air Marshal Chengappa represented the Indian Air Force in hockey. He is currently active in golf, squash, badminton, and tennis, and it shows on his fitness. Since retirement, he has been busy advising on aviation matters to national and international organizations. He is the president of Air Force Association of Karnataka. Closer home, he is passionate about encouraging the NITK students for a career in defense, taking up adventure and leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, we have amongst us the most decorated and highest ranking officer over the 6 decades of NITK alumni history, Air Marshal B.U. Chengappa. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sri Niranjan, for a detailed introduction. Your narration sounded more like a family member speak about another. And we do understand that being an alumnus yourself, you could not have spoken very differently. Thank you, sir. While the nomenclature and many other things, over to you, sir.
Professor Ravi, Director NITK, Professor Mohan Kumar, Dean, Professor Ravindranath, Register, all the directing and non-directing staff of NITK, my fellow alumni who are present in large number, dear students, both who got felicitated today as well as the NITK students, ladies and gentlemen. At the very outset, I must express my sincere gratitude to Professor Ravi and the Dean Alumni for giving this privilege to be here with you as chief guest on this momentous occasion of 64th Foundation Day of the Institute. In fact, it's an humbling experience for me to be here being an alumni of this very same institution which I joined maybe more than 50 years back. Indeed, when I was asked, I was overwhelmed and immediately said, yes, I will come, because it is an occasion to come back to my alma mater. You know, this takes me back to in my memory lane, back to those 60 plus years when the visionaries of this great institute laid the foundation stone 64 years back. Today we have to remember him, Mr. Srinivas Mallya, who had the vision to set up an engineering college, that to a regional engineering college at a place like this, Surathkal, which had the best atmosphere for studies, away from the town, not so away from the town also, and nothing else around other than the beautiful sea that in front, and that too such a calm sea from outside, but at the same time pretty dangerous once you go in, and a fully steady atmosphere. It was perhaps his vision that brought this great institute to this place, and from where it was and where it is today, I'm sure wherever he is there up above us must be smiling at the growth of this great institution. He, along with his connection at the central government, that was the Prime Minister Pandit Nehru at that time, it was possible. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been possible to get a regional engineering college at this place. And perhaps, to my mind, it was one of the best decisions at that time. Having said that, when I came to this college as a young, energetic district first from Coorg, which is a small district, but I thought I was a cat whisker since I stood first there and coming from a middle class family, from a small town to this great institution, I suddenly found myself among the best ones. Because those days, even now for that matter, only the best ones came here. Those of us who tried probably the IITs, and if missed or didn't miss or wanted to be closer to our own families, we came to Regional Engineering College, Surathkal. And even now I remember when I was interviewed by Dr. Adiki, our first principal, that was in Woodlands in Bangalore, that smiling, soft-spoken gentleman I can never forget, who was the first principal of this great college, and he was the one who built the foundation of this institution. We all started in asbestos sheet classrooms, stayed in the staff quarters, in temporary staff quarters, 4, 5, 6 of us in one quarter, and continued our studies. But only thing that we had was that hard work, wanting to do well. Even our instructors, our directing staff, our teachers, lecturers, professors, they were all the dedicated ones. I cannot forget Professor Kirk Reddy, Professor Mahadevan, Professor K.K. Ebbar, lecturer Bagalkot, our physics, N.R. Shetty, who subsequently became principal here also, or Muttanna, like that, so many, including the physical director, Nagesh. I don't know where are they all. And then another person that I don't forget at all is Dr. Channabasappa, who was our mathematics professor, who was not only a professor, a warden, a strict warden at that. And those were the ones who groomed us. We were all raw young men. As I said, only dream in the eyes came here. But this is where the foundation stone was laid for us to become the citizen of this country. This is where we are mentored. 5 years that I spent. Today the students are very lucky, they are in 4 years here. We have 5 years. Not only that, those 5 years, each year was end of the year was the examination. And if you fail in more than 2 subjects, you have to repeat the year. The life was pretty tough. The facilities were pretty tough all around, but we grew with them. That taught us a lot of lessons. I clearly remember in 4th year of my engineering, I chose electrical because that was called the Raja branch those days. We had only those 3 disciplines, electrical, mechanical, and civil. And electrical was called Raja that time. I don't know what is it now. It must be one of those disciplines out of the many that you have here. And in the 4th year, of all the things, in the final, the practicals, I failed. In fact, they were all my best teachers, pet teachers, but they failed me because I took it so casually. And that taught me lessons such a way, that taught me such hard lessons. That's why failures are a tool for successive opportunities that you get. That failure, in fact, hurt me quite a lot because when I joined the Air Force, because I went, as Niranjan mentioned, as a the university entry scheme. That was on 4th year I got selected, and I was supposed to get the full final year pay when I joined the Air Force. But because I had failed there, it took another 6 months to pass in the supplementary in that subject. Electrical practicals, I don't think anyone has failed in the history of Surathkal. And because I failed, I lost 6 months of my pay when I joined the Air Force, of that final year's pay. That's aside. But that taught me a great lesson in the life. I'm just quoting that as an example, not that students should fail and then learn the lesson. But any failure is a stepping stone for success, so nothing to be taken, in that sense that it's a failure in life. That's what I just meant. Along with me, the college also has evolved. From the time that we came, where you were carrying the T-square, and I'm sure my senior alumni would remember that, and a board for doing drawing. Today, I don't think even the faculty members have heard about it or known. Yeah, slide rule. Slide rule was perhaps a luxury, because not everybody could afford slide rule, and only few were of that higher middle class or rich class could, and we used to envy at those slide rules. And today, where are we? Same way, we had those 3 hostels, but then from there, only thing we had was the Shiva temple and the beautiful sea, as I said. And today, when I come back, after that I've come a couple of times after my retirement to these places, the whole sea changed. I can't even make out where we went, and which way to go, where to come. Of course, the foundation stone for the main headquarters was laid at that time, and subsequently we moved to that. Anyway, that was the history. I just wanted to share with you what all we went through, but the college also has evolved from those 3 disciplines to umpteen number of disciplines, and so many research papers. I was aghast and really very pleasantly surprised that so many research papers have been put by the excellent faculty members that they are here by NITK. It's in fact splendid growth. I must appreciate the successive directors, successive faculty members who came here and passed through, and all of us alumni keep remembering and keep appreciating the efforts put in by the staff and the directors of this great institution. In fact, my joining Air Force was incidental. Though university entry scheme, I appeared in that. That was just for, I was telling somebody, it was just for fun, because those fellows came for interview in the campus recruitment. We all were in that mood, okay, let's go and face it. And I got selected. Then they said, okay, go to Mysore for Service Selection Board for SSB. Oh, free trip from Surathkal to Mysore was the attraction. We went. I don't know, got selected. Those days, engineers never joined armed forces. Because 69, of course, it was a tough year to get jobs after passing, even if you were from KREC. The next step was Bombay for most of us, and in fact, many went there only. Even I went, because Tatas had selected me, but this was just incidental. I had qualified in the Air Force, and the whole of my family, everyone was against my joining armed forces, because my father had suffered. He was a POW in Japan for 5 years during Second World War, and we had given up that he's gone. I mean, to that extent. And the Japanese are not what they are today. They were never peace-loving persons. They were with Germany in the Second World War, and as ruthless as Chinese. And my father used to tell about the experiences as POW, how they treated him, and it is really, really shattering. So after that, because of that kind of an experience, everybody, that too doing engineering, that too passing, as Niranjan said, first class was a big thing those days. Though today first class is nothing, only 98%, 99% is the good thing. But those days first class was considered, oh, pretty good. They said, you got this and Tata's has given you a job, why don't you go? Only my father said, if it is his passion, let him go. And Bombay I didn't like, that's why I joined the Air Force. Bombay life I just didn't like at all. In fact, on a lighter vein, one day I was coming back from VT to Chambu, got down at Chambu, suddenly I felt somebody touched my pocket, and next minute, my pocket was picked. Same train I caught, the one which was coming back, even I left my luggage, everything, even now it must be living somewhere, came back to Bangalore, went home and said, I'm not going to Bombay again. And luckily, the standby was there for me, Air Force, and I joined the Air Force. From the moment I joined the Air Force, I have not regretted. It was such a wonderful life. I have seen the best and the worst of the Air Force, participated in 3 different operations starting from 1971, which was the biggest victory that we had over Pakistan and created East Pakistan into Bangladesh. Then subsequently we had Operation Brass Tack in '84, where the whole armed forces were mobilized to the border against Pakistan. But luckily we didn't go into the war, but we were on 24 alert. The whole nation was geared up for a war. And then 99, the Kargil war. In fact, just few days back on 26th of July, we had the Kargil Vijay Divas, where we celebrated the victory of Kargil, where a lot of our people lost their lives because they were in such advantageous position, and we had to really fight our way through to climb up those high hills. And some of the stories that we hear on those really eye-catching. Anyway, that's for another day. But Air Force has taught me a lot of things. If KREC has taught me hard work is the only way forward, the Air Force is the one who taught me honesty, integrity, loyalty, punctuality, discipline. These are the essential qualities in life. Today, I see these things missing in the civil society, which is very essential for us to grow, for the country to grow. But the Air Force, if today the one organization or one system which is still onto these principles in a really high manner, it is the armed forces. Of course, there are black sheep there also, but by and large, 80 to 90%, you have these qualities imbibed in us. Right from our training days, these things are imbibed on us. These qualities have to be there. Nation comes first, mission always, and you are the last. That is our motto. Look after your juniors and listen to the seniors. This is what is taught to us. And challenges all over, every place. Even not only to me, to my family, to my wife. Starting from one-room temple, Colonel Kaushik is sitting here in front of me, I'm sure he will nod his head when I say, from one-room apartment to big bungalows. We have lived through everything, but we are rooted to the Mother Earth. That's another quality of ours. Nothing goes ahead, irrespective of where you are. Extremely pyramid structured, base is so big, as you go up the ladder, unless you are hardworking, dedicated, professionally sound, all-round developed, teamwork, camaraderie, all those good qualities which are required in a human being to become a good citizen of India, you start in the armed forces. Because I was told that share your experience of of Air Force, that's why I'm telling these few things, which is essential. You know, we are in 75 years of our independence. In fact, Amrit Mahotsav we have been celebrating for the last 1 year. In fact, central government I was a little surprised when I heard this, 2 lakh programs they did in the last 1 year. In fact, I was also participant in many such programs. I'm sure NITK also must have done quite a lot of programs in that. And country has evolved, like the NITK has evolved, from KREC NITK from 60 to now. Country has evolved. 47, when we were left totally impoverished, today we are knocking the door of superpowers, as you all are aware. But our growth has not been as fast as we envisaged, but it's still better off than most of the other countries around. Having said that, today we are in such a phase where we can take giant leaps. We are poised for that. And the leadership is also backing us in all those things. And superpower or economic power, I'm told we come to 5th, to come to 3rd position. All of us have to strive. More so the youngsters who are here. I don't know how many are there. The students are there, but they are the future probably. And they have to strive. In the nation building, when it comes to nation building, today Atmanirbhar is the mantra of the day. So the engineers have tremendous role to play. If you have to become economically stronger, health-wise, the doctors had to do, and we have done it. From 33 years of our longevity in 47, today I believe it is reached 67 or 68 years, which is really, really a great leap. But engineering-wise, nation-building-wise, we are nowhere compared to the Western powers or the developed nations. And if you have to strive there, we, the engineers, have to do it. Because the engineers are the nation builders, like the doctors are the health builders. So engineers have to strive, and we have to come out of a cocoon and get into thinking about the nation more than about us. In India, I feel, I don't know how much I'm correct, even this was not only substantiated by many speakers earlier, but not here, in other places. We are very good family-wise. We are very good looking after me, my family, my community, my area. But when it comes to nation, that comes to last priority. Unlike the West, nation first and comes down to the family, and the family bonding is not there at all. Both are bad. You have to have a mix of it. Our family bonds, our culture, our heritage, the respect for each other, wonderful all that. But consideration for the nation, we lack a bit. We always expect somebody else to do that. System is fault. System is bad. So how do we fight the system? This is always keep pointing finger at the system, government, whatever else outside and not inside. We have to look inside is what I feel. And then, as I keep saying, always, when you point a finger at others, 3, 4 fingers are pointing at you. So look at yourself, if you can correct yourself, and then do things as it is to be done. We all know, our conscience always tells us what you're doing is right or wrong, but many times we get carried away because of various external factors. But I think its time has come. As I said, the Atmanirbhar, where we have to be self-sufficient. Everywhere there is encouragement being given today. So many startups have come. I'm talking to the engineers probably, that's why I'm saying this. Of course, many have failed, but those who have succeeded, there are many alumni sitting here who started as startups, who left the jobs and came on to start their own, and they have really, really done well. And the scope is enormous, and encouragement is enormous today. So it's a time for us to grow, bring the country to a much higher level. Actually, students are here, some of them. Today, innovation, out-of-the-box thinking is the way forward. We have to, always it is said wisdom is attributed to old age and experience. I don't fully subscribe to that at all. Yes, experience does matter. Age doesn't matter. Wisdom need not come even if you're the oldest, or you are aged. Mentally, you may not have aged, or wisdom-wise, you may not have. But hard work, learning all the time, this is what FOS has taught me again. You have to be at it. You have to keep on learning. Every day there is something new to learn. Whatever level you are, whether it is the faculty members or the students, or at my level also, all the time there is scope for learning something new, something always. And in the fast changing technology today, everything gets outdated very fast. So we have to be at it and keep working at it. Reading habit, which is gone, which is not there at all today, like what it was earlier, has to come back to our students. We have to, as staff, faculty members, you have to tell your students to inculcate the reading habits, participating in the intellectual deliberations and interactions, participating in seminars and other things to enhance the knowledge. These are things which you have to do not within the syllabus, outside the syllabus, probably have to tell the students to get into these things. And adventures, I'm glad Professor Ravi is the director, who's an adventurous man. Encourage as much as possible on those. Of course, Surathkal, NITK or KREC has always been encouraging for sports activities right from our days. But much more encouragement can be given to them. A good sportsman is a good professional. This is what I have seen in my life. A bookworm is not a good professional. He's a good bookworm, fine. He is very good in that particular, but out of the box thinking very rarely happens. Whereas an all-round developed, not such a intelligent person is good for the society, good for the country. So you'll have to encourage your students to get into all kinds of activities and study at the course. Studies is ultimately most important thing, no doubt. And their experiences have to, or their knowledge has to keep on going up. Hard work has to always continue until we join the Lord. These are the few words I wanted to share with you, few thoughts of mine. And then again, I know NITK is poised to growth and for a higher level. We are at the moment, I think, 8th or 8th. Last time I thought we were 8th or 9th, somewhere there, less than 10 in India. But we were always, right from day one, we've been trying to be on par with IITs. I remember my interaction with our earlier directors. We used to always say, when are we going to become on par with IITs or better than IITs? We've been, now I'm sure, with Professor Ravi at the helm of the FS, we're definitely going to achieve that. We all alumni are waiting for that thing to happen for us to celebrate that. Because that is one of our dreams, that NITK, we can look up eye to eye with the IIT guy and say, I am also equal to you. Professionally, otherwise. Of course, we are otherwise quite equal or better than them in many areas, because they finish IIT and go away to America somewhere, and NITK doesn't go so many, but we are here. But when others also must say, yeah, instead of IIT, go to NITK. Of course, among the regional engineering colleges, NITK is the best. That I am very certain about it. I have interacted with so many other, whether Tirchi or Calicut or all of them, but we are the best. There is no doubt about it. But when it comes to IIT, my last interaction I remember with Professor Ravi, he also has that in his mind. You're saying IIT Bombay, if I remember correctly, that we should be able to do much better than them, and the research papers and other things that have been produced. And such a lot of research papers have been produced here, and then the recognition that IIT Bombay gets, we also should be getting it. Like recently, Nandan Nilekani gave them 50 crores or something like that, and his block has been named on his Nilekani block or something like that. But I don't think money is not the matter. It's the intention that has to have. And with Professor Ravi, I'm sure, absolutely sure for that matter. This is my second interaction with him. First time I met him in Bangalore, and that time please support him in his endeavors fully, so that next time or very soon, I as alumni should be able to talk in my other circles saying that I am from the NITK and I am proud of it. Of course, even today I am proud, but now where we are. So with that, I once again congratulate all those who have been facilitated today. It's a great job. 25 years of service, our meritorious students, and the support staff also. Excellent job, all of them, and really congratulations. And all the best to the institute and to the students and the faculty members. And it is time for us, the alumni, to give back to the college, to the society, which is what we are doing in our own way, whichever way is possible, because ultimately what we require is what this great institute has given to us. We have to, whatever little we can give back, we need to do that, which we'll try to do. On behalf of my alumni, I'm saying this, that we'll definitely do that. But we wish NITK on this Foundation Day greater laurels, greater glory, and thank you once again to all of you, and particularly to Professor Ravi for inviting me today to share a few thoughts of mine with you all. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. While the nomenclature and many other things in this 300-acre campus would no doubt have changed over the years, and I'm sure that our chief guest, Air Marshal B.U. Chingappa, has had many interesting anecdotes to share about his alma mater today. Sir, your address was very touching and something from the heart, and I'm sure that coming back to this campus would have made you feel like a young boy once again. We feel quite obliged and proud to have hosted a proud son of our nation on this significant day of NITK's journey. Thank you very much, sir. May I now request our director, Professor B. Ravi, to kindly felicitate our chief guest of the day's function with a memento. Thank you, sir. Before our director delivers his presidential address, may I request our Dean, Faculty Welfare, to escort the dignitaries to occupy the reserved seats in the front row of the hall. Please. Thank you, sir. Our director, Professor B. Ravi, an Institute Chair Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, IIT Mumbai, took charge only a few weeks back on 15th of June. He made it a point to visit every department, hostel, and facility in the Institute to meet the respective faculty and the in-charges, while also taking care of pending matters in the administration. As many of you know, Professor Ravi is an alumnus of NIT Rourkela, that is incidentally now headed by our previous director, Professor Uma Maheshwar Rao. After completing his BTech in Mechanical Engineering, Professor Ravi went to IISc Bangalore for Masters and PhD. In 1992, he joined IIT Bombay as faculty, rising to become a senior chair professor until recently headed the School of Entrepreneurship. He is well known for his innovative work in metal casting, process simulation, 3D printing, cloud computing, and medical devices. He guided nearly 100 master's and PhD students and mentored 20 startup teams whose products like AutoCast simulation, software, and IU Smart stethoscope are market success stories. Professor Ravi is committed to using his experience and network for transforming NITK into a model institute, where students and faculty from different departments work together to create knowledge and products for economic development of the region in an equitable and sustainable manner. On the eve of the Foundation Day, that is yesterday, he interacted with nearly 1,000 students in an open house session for over 2 hours to understand their aspirations and challenges. Let us hear his first impressions about the institutes and plans for the future. Over to you, sir.
Very good morning, sir. Air Marshal, all the dignitaries, including our distinguished alumni, children who got awards today. Very happy to see all of you. And of course, our faculty colleagues, friends, ladies, gentlemen. I almost feel like part of family now. It's just a few days that I have been here, but a kind of, I think, love and affection that you have bestowed on me, I'm actually very, very, I can say overwhelmed, but more importantly, I feel like I've been here forever, although I've been here for a few days only. It's a wonderful feeling, honestly. What I intend to do is to kind of share back with you what you have told me over the last few days. I have visited all the departments, hostels, as mentioned. Srinath, thank you very much for a nice introduction. And I thought I'll kind of re-articulate, which means I'll just tell what you told me maybe in a cohesive way, and also some initial thoughts about what perhaps we could do together as a family. Again, it's your own thoughts. I'm just giving it back to you maybe in some kind of cohesive way. So in a sense, it is about looking back a little bit, but from your words, and looking ahead also in a sense, from your own words. Okay. But let me first recall the history of the institute. It has already been told in such a more colorful way, beautiful way. But I did my own homework before coming to the institute, and also, of course, before this event. And I was really dazzled by the kind of the person that Sri Ullas Srinivas Malya has been, And when I heard that he is an architect of the modern Dakshin Kannada, I said, really, let me also check what he has done. And I said, wow, born just at the turn of the last century, 1902, and a fairly well-to-do family. They had a business going in Mangalore, and did his schooling, and 1920 joined Mahatma Gandhi's call for independence movement, freedom movement. Quoted jail multiple times, and had a lot of friends right up the top. Sri Lal Bahadur Shastri, our second Prime Minister, was very close. They were very close friends with each other, traveled together a lot of times. Member of the National Party at regional, state level, and the national level, and closely associated with many schemes, many projects, committees, including I picked up Handicrafts Commission, among many things. Of course, he passed away in 1965, as you know. On the way to Delhi airport, he was supposed to come to Mangalore at that point of time, from what I read history there. But more importantly, as an architect, not only he built this institute, but also the local ports and airports, and established the foundation for the factories to come up, the two national highways to Bombay side and to Bangalore side, okay, and the bridges on not only the Netravati but many other rivers also. I said, how does one person do so much in lifetime? We don't have to go very far to look at examples from USA and rest of the country. We have one person right here in front of us. So when I paid homage to him today morning in my office, and then of course in front of main building and in front of the main gate, I am admiring the kind of foundation, the real foundation that this institute got in the form of Sri Malya. I'm saying these things from my heart. I really feel, I wish I had met someone like him. My date of birth is just 1 year before that, so I was 1 year old at that point when he passed away. But what a person, what a personality, fantastic. And of course, this photo has his photo as well as the first, I think, principal, Professor Adke. So KREC, and I think looks like about within first 4 years, we had about 1,000 students, a fraction of what we have today. And then we went to the university system, so Mysore University, Mangalore University, and then of course finally as a NITK with a deemed university status. Institute of National Importance. That was another milestone thanks to the NIT Act. And then they have NISER Act also, which has further given the policies and the structure of how to operate an institute like that, bringing them more on par with, let's say, IITs, so on. And last year, from what we see, number 10 rank, we are slightly slid from that, but we will make it up. And the number of UG programs, PG programs, and 7,100 students on campus today. So we've grown a lot among the years. I was also looking at the Google Map, and in Google Map you can go back to history. So slider, if you can move, it is how the earliest Google Map of NIT campus in 5 years back in 2018. So that's how it looks like. And then I went back to modern time, and that is how it looks like. I'm sure you are able to recognize. Sir, is it possible to switch off just these lights on the podium? Then you can enjoy a little bit better. But I think you can maybe recognize a few places in this which came up in the last 5 years. I could, with a little bit of, find the difference between two pictures, right? I mean, so I did a bit of that. I could see maybe you can make out, right? I mean, including the staff club right on the top, and of course the main gate entrance and so on and so forth. I'm sure many more have come up in the last 5 years. This is what I could figure out from the two maps. But it's a lovely campus. I mean, when I went to the RE office and they said this is how it is done, I said it is beautiful. It has its zone A, which is residential, then zone B, which is like academic, zone C, which is, let's say, your hostel area, and then you have the zone on the other side of the campus. I think very few institutions which are this old have such a beautifully zoned areas of the campus, and you're maintaining that in terms of new construction also. I can't tell you how important it is for the future of the institute. I mean, 60 years have gone, but we're talking about the next 64 years also, right? And what we do today will matter 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. And of course, this is one more picture which I got from the net, which is again aerial views of the campus taken by some of the committee members or faculty members here. I also did a little bit homework. So you say, okay, almost 300 acres of land and classrooms, faculty quarters, boys hostels, girls hostels. We have more or less the hallmark of a classical national institute. In terms of human resources, about 270 plus minus faculty and staff, 7,100 students, and out of that 4,000 BTech, about 2,000 masters of all types, including MCA, MSc, MBA, and so on, and about 1,000 odd PhD students. Again, very beautiful ratios of UG to PG to PhD again. I'm very happy to see 23% of them are women students. 1 in 4 is a woman student. It's a great achievement. Maybe thanks to government policies, but end of the day, government policies, if they give us a good net result, so why not? Very happy about it. And I have been to all these academic units, so 14 academic units, including, I keep looking at from sciences to the engineering to, of course, humanities and so on. Very good. And research centers, many research centers, I just put some order. I don't even know whether these are exactly right, but I think there are wonderful centers here doing wonderful work, and I've been again visiting those and talking to faculty there. And as a campus, unlike many American universities where you have to worry about your housing and shopping and all that, everything is there in the campus, from banks to campus schools to your own staff club, recreation center, and of course, I have gone to your post office also, okay, as an official visit. It's nice, even the faculty and the staff there are very nice. And the supporting centers, without which institute will not function. Whether it is computer center and telephone communication centers, or of course your CDC for students, the Innovations Consulting Center is there, IPR Innovation Center is there, and of course the STEP, which is Science and Technology Entrepreneurs Park. One of the oldest in the country is right here in NIT Surathkal. Now, what I saw from all these, let me summarize them in maybe a few points, okay? First thing is, and these are all the places where I visited, okay? So that was how my schedule looked like in the first few days of taking charge. So mornings I would go to department and ask the faculty to meet, introductions, and the HOD would make a presentation about the department. Very beautiful presentations, very well planned and articulated. And afternoon I went to some facility in the campus. Started literally from the hospital, because even before I took over, registrar said, "Sir," I said, "what are top 2-3 problems in the campus?" One of the top 3 problems was, one was water. They had to close the campus early this year, and they said, "Sir, medical hospital, there is a problem." So I said, "Okay, let us visit the ones which are most important." But hostels was actually my top priority, and 3 days, 3 afternoons we spent going around every hostel, various wings. I went and saw the rooms and bathrooms and everything else, even messes and even the cleaning of the messes and so on. So that was done, and then continuing, then there was a break in between, because they said we had to attend a visitors conference, which is a meeting with the President of India, which was very inspiring. I mean, we all sit in a room like that, all the directors of various IITs and NITs. The President comes to the stage, she keeps standing, the national anthem is played by a band, live band, right at the back. And I can't tell you how it feels. I mean, I was feeling I must have done a lot of good things in my past life to deserve a meeting like that with the President of India. But more importantly, we were also given a tour of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. So that was one of the perks of becoming director here, was we got to see Rashtrapati Bhavan from inside. But what stands out in my mind, and what I think I'll remember for the rest of my life, the person who was giving a tour, he was giving a tour of various past presidents. So, of course we had Abdul Kalam, Pratibha Patil, and of course Pranab Mukherjee and all that. And finally, and there's a case where the photography is there, their articles are there, and finally they come to the last president, which is empty block. And they turn to the visitor saying, "This is reserved for you. Anyone can be President of India here." Okay. So I think even the current president, when she was speaking, and interestingly she is from Orissa, and I was born in Orissa, so I had an additional emotional factor of seeing an Orissa. We all speak in English or Hindi, but I speak Oriya English, you may be speaking Kannada English, things like that. So it was very beautiful for me to hear her English, which I could see the Oriya language in that. So that was the little break in my schedule of meeting here, but I continued and also visited campus schools, which is very beautiful campus school here, English medium school here. And then of course we had other things. Now you may be wondering now, so what? Okay, so what do you think about NITK? So I'm kind of summarizing in just points here. Okay? One is, it is definitely a very well planned campus. 295 acres have been very well utilized. There are some areas which are full of forest. I hope we will put a red fence and saying this area shall not be touched for next 50 years. Okay, beautiful places. As long as we can make sure we can manage the construction in the remaining part of the campus. So zoning and maintenance, buildings are very well maintained. Okay, I mean, okay, some top floor will leak, but that's like 1% problem. Mostly very well maintained departments and all that. Green cover is fantastic. Beach, of course, is fantastic. Yesterday I was joking to the students that I talked about 1,000 students yesterday. I kind of wanted to pull their leg. So I said that thank you for not going to beach, because I am going and enjoying the beach very much. Of course, the hint is that, go and enjoy the beach, of course. And what an impressive central research facility. Whether it's a Taj Mahal or a white elephant, I don't know, but let's hope we will make it self-sustaining financially also. And the library, I was very impressed with the facilities. Of course, new sports complex is also a jewel in the crown of NITK. Sir, if you have time, if you have not visited, you must see the new sports complex also. And I was very impressed with the administration. I really mean it, okay? Registrar, all the and his officers, people who I met in various centers and departments, including CCC and CDC and so on. What wonderful, very professional staff, very committed to the institute. And from whatever presentation I heard from the HODs, excellent output in terms of what they're teaching, their research projects, their outreach in terms of consulting projects, Publications, even patents are there. They are non-zero. I'm very happy patents are also happening there. So this is happening. Also very happy to see fairly good representation of women among not only students but also staff and of course faculty members. So excellent institute overall, okay. Going further, the new infrastructure which is coming up, whether it is LHC-D or the new boys hostel which is now almost ready to be occupied now, hopefully for the new students. What a nice management information system called IRIS. And when they told me that it was developed by students, I was floored. I mean, this IRIS is better than what, let us say, some of the top institutes are. We are already better than IRIS in many ways, okay? Okay. And IRIS is definitely one more of the things which NIT possesses in its armory, which is making it very powerful, okay? And placement records, I think you know, it continues to be 90+%, much more, high 90s for both UGs and PGs. I think the companies know that if they want good engineers, NIT-K is still the best place to go to. And not to mention alumni. I mean, yesterday students were saying that, sir, there is innovation, entrepreneurship, we are interested, startups and all that. And I said, do you know how many startups came up already from this institute, from the alumni? And we're not talking about startups which came up in the last 5, 10, 20 years. Many more, okay? I mean, I went to Ace Mechanics, I mean, how old? He must be again, sir, 70, 75, 80 years old, right? So startups have been happening by NIT alumni forever. I mean, for ages, for decades. It's just that we have to bring them and call them. But let me also share some honest other kind of feedback. So please take it in the right spirit. So challenges, definitely accommodation for the faculty. We are now going ahead with the faculty and staff recruitment, and I would like to get faculty, but then we have to also house them in the campus. And students are not happy about triple placement, double placement per room. And at least senior students, we should be able to give them single occupancy room and so on, right? And even for guests, I was very worried. If you are going to hold an international conference, do we have 100 world-class guest house rooms? Sorry, we don't have at this point of time. And after 3-4 days of visits, I asked the innocent questions to faculty saying, so how do you manage in this weather? Your rooms must be air conditioned, isn't it? And I was shocked to know that faculty rooms are not air conditioned. I said, how can you be productive? So I was not happy. So after that, I have switched off one AC in my office. Okay. So until faculty ACs are actually going to happen, no, you don't know. I actually work on weekends also. Then I do not put on even that one AC. So let me tell you that. No, it is a reminder for me that until faculty are comfortable, of course, I have to make sure I don't make any wrong judgments. So I'll put on one AC once in a while. Okay, then water seepage an issue, which is very funny because on one hand you have excess water, rainfall in this region, and then your water seepage is happening because excess rainfall, and then you don't have water in summer. So I said, okay, we have to do some balancing act of water itself here. The temporary faculty, temporary staff is also a matter of great concern because you need permanent staff, permanent faculty for courses and permanent staff for running the laboratories and equipment. So we need to do that as soon as possible. One other issue which came up from HOD saying that, sir, there's a declining interest of PhDs. They are not coming anymore to the NITK. Those who are coming are not necessarily highly motivated to do research. So that has to be addressed. The continuing education, if you have so many good faculty, so many good expertise doing publications and research, but why are we not doing continuing education for others, other faculty, other institutions, of course industry and so on. That's another thing. Innovation entrepreneurship ecosystem is almost conspicuous by absence. It is there, but other institutions have raced ahead and we need to catch up in the race. Okay, we need to put some extra energy and accelerate much more than them to be able to catch up with them. Apart from that, I think there is still a classical silos between departments. So generally when we talk about collaborations, it is not electrical faculty talking to electronics faculty. That is not collaboration. Electrical talking to mechanical, slightly better. Engineering talking to humanities, slightly more better. engineering talking to environmentalists or let's say medical doctors, or that is better collaboration. Okay. So if you want to do innovation, you cannot be doing in your offices and labs. You have to go out of the real world. Alumni, so campus signages facilities. I think I asked women here, where do you get your vegetables? Sorry, as part of life. Okay, I didn't see a place where you can get fresh vegetables on a daily basis in the campus. I don't know if no one told me it's a problem, but it looks like. So sometimes you have to kind of look from a third angle. An outsider perhaps may appreciate your problems better because you have gotten used to it, your problems in life. So sometimes you need to get visitors from outside saying, you see what you see and tell us what you don't see there. And alumni association is very important part of life. I spent a couple of very beautiful hours reminiscing from our distinguished alumnus, Sri Regi Narayana. And a lot of things could be done in terms of bringing alumni closer to the institute. The relationship building has to be kick-started once again, okay? And of course, yesterday students were asking, sir, can we have one more hostel, one more whatever sports complex? I said, of course, just show me the place and show me the money. So I told the students that, if you want anything, we need to ask faculty to work double hard because they have to earn money from either sponsor projects or consulting projects or whatever. And that money is what we have to funnel to pay what is called as a loan, because you can take a loan to build a new construction, but you have to pay back the loan in installments back. That I had to tell the students. Of course, we can dream about it, but then we have to get the faculty to work for you, So I'm trying to also get students to kind of be part of the institute. One student asked, sir, can we help you in policy making? I said, neki aur puch, aa jaiye. Come and getting students interested in administration with whatever checks and balances is a good thing because they appreciate the problems and challenges from this side also. We'll see how to do that. Okay, a few things. I was walking around in the campus and I was trying to, of course, before coming here, looking for photographs and videos of the campus. I did not find too many photographs that I could use in my slides. These are my photographs walking around the campus in the last few days. There are beautiful, you can say vignette means you look from a camera frame, let us say, and say this is visually very appealing. Here are just a few examples. I was bowled over by the board of Lal Bahadur Shastri, and I'm told it happened because of again Srinivas Mallya being a close friend of him. So he could get him here to inaugurate that lab there. And of course, I saw this peacock right in front of another building in the campus. The last picture there. Among many things, the student clubs, which is a very important part of life, okay, is a very important activity, and the very high satisfaction of the students in terms of clubs activities, various clubs, various sports, not only the so-called social clubs, but also technical clubs, and of course your NCC, NSS, and physical activities and so on. By and large, students are happy about it. But I was not happy that they're happy. I want them to be unhappy about it, because unless everybody is saying we are 60%, 70%, 80% happy about various things. They say, sir, we need a little more space for technical clubs. I said, thoda jor se bolo. I mean, what I mean is, unless they complain, how will we look at the whole thing? So it was a good interaction yesterday, but I think some of these could be done. Mountaineering, self-defense is my thing, my suggestion. Okay, saying you should do. I mean, there's so many beautiful, from Kudremukh range to Kemmangundi to Kodachadri range and all that. Let's go and climb. I mean, that gives you a lot more confidence also. So I'm just showing you one slide summary of my yesterday's interaction for 2 hours with the students. One slide version. Finally, we tried to kind of summarize what are your top priority challenges. Okay, this is what came up. Okay, the size of the circle is my interpretation of the cost of implementation, and the circle is on the right side. It means more students are affected by that. If it's too closer to the top, it means it is more intensive life situation. Okay, so SSC clubs, they are more or less okay. There's no problem there. Intensity problem is not there. Not to me, and people are unhappy with that. So it's needed, but they can live without that. STEP came up as a very important thing. STEP is they want innovation entrepreneurship. for which you need a lot of money. You need to have facility, 3D printers, whatever, all those things. More hostels, especially from seniors who want single room, is a bigger issue. But building a new hostel, as you know, takes time and money. What? Like 3-4 years and maybe 30-40 crores of rupees, okay? Adequate water was also concerned because they don't want the campus to be closed just because there's no water in the campus. But if you look at the top two problems, and I asked the question 3 times to them saying, so shall we all agree that the top problem is this? And they all said, sir, top problem is clean, healthy food and clean toilets. And I asked once again, show me the hands. Every hand in the room went up. Those who were there, I think you know that, right? So this is number one problem is healthy food and clean toilets. Okay, so that's a summary of what the students told me yesterday. Now let me bit of last few minutes of my thoughts on how we could go from there, okay? So I think there is a case for making this NIT a model NIT or model institute, okay? What do I mean by model institute, okay? What I mean by that is that one interpretation is that can we look at global excellence but not in a way that we get disassociated with the local issues. So global excellence coupled with local relevance, which means we'll be excellent in terms of our thinking, our research, our teaching, our facilities and so on, but end of the day we should serve right people, our students, our campus residents, maybe people around the campus, maybe Surathkal. The circle can be drawn maybe around Surathkal or maybe Dakshin Kannada and maybe of course the state Karnataka and of course India and so on. But let's start back where it matters most, which is our own campus, okay? And in terms of 4 directions, if we can achieve excellence in terms of research and education, all 4, but more, these 2 are more towards this side, and maybe in terms of innovation outreach, if we can somehow help the local society to solve their problems in an innovative way and create startups and businesses out of that, I think that will be wonderful in terms of achieving that. Now we cannot do it by just talking from a stage like this. We need to involve all stakeholders, and I kind of present to you 8 stakeholders: faculty, students become alumni, and some of the alumni also go to industry. I mean, industry of course means both alumni industry and other industry. And other side we also have faculty and officers. If you can see, these are together. Campus residents. We have the spouses of faculty, we have children of faculty and staff. Why not also involve them in the mission of this model institute? And of course, not only that, involve the local institutes in the region. Professor Gopal Mugaraya is there, our own faculty, former director of other NITs, and also we have former directors here. I am appealing to them, especially Professor Gopal, why don't we use his and other great people who are sitting in the room and others, their connections to create a regional coalition of, it's not a collaboration, it's not a society, it's just a coalition. We just work together for the upliftment of the region. Okay, so a thought, let's see how it goes, and society in general here. That is the one overall big picture from my side. If you have patience, I'll go a little bit more into details of that, okay? So if I put in the middle of this picture, NITK, Bank Center, and we say the 2 aspects we're talking about, global excellence and local relevance. If I can expand that, and how do we measure that? What is our incentive for doing that? We would like to win the respect and trust of the local society. If I may say that as an acid test. Then how do we do that, okay? How do you know we are global excellent? Ranking is one way of looking at it. I'm not saying the only way. If you're higher ranked, that means you are, by some measures, you are ranked. No, it's a national ranking or international ranking. Ranking is one way of doing that. How do we get ranked? There are many measures of ranking, but those 4 things which I mentioned to you, which is research and education and innovation and outreach, these are 4 major factors in being highly ranked. On the other side, how do I know I'm making a local impact? Local relevance means local impact. 2 ways to look at that is, can I have a better campus and a better region? 2 areas, okay? Again, I'm starting from center here. In terms of what? I said, okay, we all say New Year greetings, wish you a happy and prosperous New Year. I just picked up those two words. Can I have a happy campus and a prosperous region, local region? I'm keeping it very simple here for the moment, okay? But now let us map the stakeholders in the whole thing. Faculty, let me start from that. So if I say faculty, and if you can get faculty from across departments, okay, to do joint courses and joint programs. By programs, I mean it could be a certificate programs or a conference or anything else, research project or program, anything like that, okay? Can we have interdisciplinary projects? Can a master student be guided by faculty from two different departments? Can a PhD student can have faculty from two different departments as co-guides? Maybe even an alumnus or an industry professional as a co-guide for that, okay? And not only that, can we not just stop at a publication, but also go to a patenting and licensing the patenting and creating a startup company or giving it to a local company for translation? It's possible, okay? That's what we expect from the faculty to help out in that. In terms of students, already things are very good. I mean, in terms of teaching and laboratories and the clubs, this is all fine. But what we know, and Air Marshal said just now, it is not enough if you just are a good student, okay? Your knowledge of a subject is only one part of or factor for success in life. You also need to become or create good personality, good discipline, good, a spirit of adventure and things like that. And I thought these are just few examples. For example, today most students do not even know how to do personal finance. I don't think they would even know how to file a income tax return. They would not know what ITR means, first of all. But don't you think ITR is very important in life? Home management important in life? And some of these will go to foreign countries for MS and PhD. Cooking they have to do, manage the cooking and cleaning. Okay, these are all life skills. Okay, we don't teach them, hoping they'll pick it up in some manner, in some way, right? So I thought, when I mentioned that to them yesterday, they all actually got excited. They all started thinking, oh, maybe this should. I mean, they are surprised that a director is talking about personal development and career development, things like that. Okay, so from their point of view, if you can involve them to empower them little better in their own life skills. Okay, in terms of alumni, by alumni I don't mean alumni who graduated 30, 40, 50 years back only. I mean people who just graduated in this June, last month, last May. They're also alumni, right? Now, alumni are the ones we want to catch immediately, if possible, to do these things, incubation, and we can license our own technologies, and access to lab and facilities in the campus, because a startup does not have money to buy equipment and facilities. Okay, that can be done. And of course, our own senior alumni can help a junior alumni to market their products, create the brand awareness, networking, maybe some connection here and there for funding or whatever it is. So senior alumni mentoring young alumni is a very good thing. This is not coming from me, by the way. This is coming from the student feedback. Everything I'm telling you here is just a translation of what you have told me in your meetings, one-to-one or department meetings. Industry, local industry. Okay, I met a few industry leaders, including yesterday we have this ICAI, Chartered Accountants of India, something like that. Okay, Institution of Chartered Accountants India. He was very gung-ho about that, saying there are some hundreds of MSMEs in the region. MSMEs, micro, small, medium enterprises. So we want to create a program for them for innovation, startup and things like that. I said, most welcome. We want to use your NITK facilities for doing that. I said, most welcome. Because we have to help the local industry. But beyond local, by local I mean not only but Surathkal and Mangalore, but also Bangalore and Karnataka and of course South India as a whole, if not the whole country. But we can help them in, first of all, continuing education. They always need some skill, some information, some program for that. While they come to the institute, we can tell them, hey, come and look at our CRF or our library or our CSD labs like that. And if they visit the labs and see facilities, next time they will have some problem, we say, we can solve the problem. Here is a consulting project we can do for you. So there's a gradual pathway from continuing education to consulting projects to consortium projects, which multiple industries can fund together, and even a common facility center, pre-competitive common facilities. So this we will talk more with the faculty who are interested, and we can go forward to that. On the other side, officers. By officers, I mean, you say non-teaching staff. Somehow I don't like the word non-teaching. I don't want to start any sentence from no or non or whatever it is. In my mind, they're officers, including gardening officer, mess officer, officer, whatever it is. Okay? Officer gives you feeling of responsibility, respect, things like that. So whether it is wording is there or not there, in my eyes, all of them are officers. Okay? Now, what I would like to do with them, I suggest, again from what I heard from them in one-to-one and other meetings, one is let us look at making the work environment itself much better. In the main building itself, some offices are great, and I was very happy to see them. Some offices could be improved in terms of maybe the painting or the number of lighting, or maybe in some cases maybe air conditioning. It can be done. So good work environment is a starting point for the officers there. Okay, standard operating procedures. I mean, whenever you go take a flight, they say, okay, here is you put on a belt like that, and if the pressure drops, the mask will drop down. How many times you hear that? 100 times you hear that, but maybe the accident may not even happen in a lifetime. But if it happens, this actually saves lives. Now, we don't have to be that serious, but anything that is done in the institute, if there is a SOP, okay, there's no confusion. There's no confusion about who will do what, when, where, and so on. Even for this event, there is a SOP in the form of a minute-by-minute program. There's a group of people who know exactly what is going to happen next minute, who is going to do what, when, where. SOPs help a lot the institute. Okay, so we would like to work on that. We would like to send the staff or officers for training and exposure outside so that they can continuously improve also. Okay, and recognize those people like we have done today, those who have done well and or served the institute for a long time. Residents, yes, I have expectation from them also. Okay, this is a beautiful campus already. Can we not make it little more smarter, little more serene in terms of some touch up here and there, more sustainable? I mean, how we treat our grey water, how we treat our food waste, how do we segregate waste, I think these have to be thought through carefully and can be implemented in this campus. We should do that. And community initiatives. I mean, for example, a simple WhatsApp app or some mobile app, you can say buy, sell, give, take, whatever it is, right? You may have, someone may have furniture, someone else may need furniture. Why do you want to throw it away or give it to some kabaddi wala? You can exchange. I know it's possible. Books, okay, can be exchanged. Why do you want to buy new books for your students? So I'm told something like that is there in IRIS, but make it even more user-friendly on a mobile phone so you can check it very easily. Local institutions, coalition I talked about. So can we not have a regional shared facilities? If Manipal has a great lab, which we want to use, or they want to use our library, or we want to use something else in NITE, why not? We are all together in this region for regional development. Why not share facilities, have joint thematic conferences? Let's have a conference on food technology or food waste processing, whatever it is, which is important for the region. And grand challenge projects. If water is a problem for entire Bangalore region, why not we all join hands to solve the problem? And so we taking water from somewhere else and they suffering for water, why not we catch hold of our own water and show a model to the Bangalore City Corporation that here is how we can solve your water problem. We can, of course, we all have expertise here, right? So these are the thoughts in my mind. And finally, society, I was thinking why not we think about open days. Once we get our signages right and maybe SOP on how a visitor should be treated, why not get a local school children? So children who got awards from here, I don't know which schools you are studying in, but why not we expand the circle saying schools in Surathkal or expand the circle to 20 kilometers, 50 kilometers. Why not we get the children here in the campus, at least once in a month, okay? And say open day, you can visit all the labs, and some of you, for all you know, they'll get inspired just by visiting here and saying, okay, maybe I want to join NITK. Now that student who joins by motivation like that is actually can become a star student for us or star alumni for us. So, and also I would like faculty, staff and students to go see the real world. We just get comfortable in our comfort zones, in our offices, our labs and in our classrooms, okay? So every weekend, why can't we go out? Anyway, it's a beautiful place. Take your car, take your family, go to some local farm or a factory or a hotel or a hospital. But when you go to hotel, just don't go to eat only. Just go ask the person, can I see your cooking place? And see how the people are making dosas or idlis. And can you bring some technology to make their life better? Okay. So think about real life, look at problems, see whether you can formulate the problems as a beautiful research project and solve it. And of course, you can file a patent, write a paper and things like that also. Okay. So problem identification in society and go back and validate the solution back in society. These are two connections that you can do again. This is my one slide version of the stakeholders, the vision and what we can do. We will refine that as we go along. Maybe prepare a document, little more details and see how it goes. Okay. I had a few slides on some aspects of it, but maybe we will not do. It's already running a little long now. The thought here was that we all worry about science, which is know why. And you say, and you file a patent, which is know how. And then worry why no one is licensing my patent. The reason is it's not enough. You have to also give them what is called as a show how. Industry needs also a blueprint of the factory and the training plant and equipment purchase and things like that. And that's where we have to go beyond a paper into a patent to a product and also the process of making the product also. That's one thought here. And we have a formula called as a golden spiral, which I have taught to hundreds of faculty in my last 20-30 years. And I say that the trick is to go out to see the real world, travel, see the real world, then come back and tell the story to your students. Some student may get inspired or create a research proposal, try a new concept and test it back into field. If you do it multiple times enough, you can create a golden spiral of good impact in whatever area you choose. Similarly, teaching. Teaching is not only in the classroom, okay? And it's the way the teacher and the topic and the classroom setting, that's why air conditioning, noise proofing of the classrooms are important, okay? It's important. On the other side, it is not that only by classroom teaching, it is also by your labs and your team projects and then your two-way feedback. I mean, there was a discussion in one department, I forgot which one, where they're saying that what about, they said students' attendance issue was there. And then yesterday I pulled the legs of students a little bit saying that what is the pass marks, and they said 20% pass marks. How can it be 20% pass marks? Would you trust a soldier who gets 20% pass marks in their training? Would you trust a pilot who gets 20% pass marks in their pilot training? If engineering is a professional education, we must increase the pass marks, but without failing students. Okay, pass mark increase doesn't mean that students will fail. If students fail, I think one department said if students fail, which means the teacher has not taught the subject properly. It's faculty who has failed, not the student who has failed, right? So we have to rethink how we teach, how do we evaluate, how do we create professionals out of students. All this has to be rediscussed. And I'm happy to see Professor Sumam David, I saw somewhere, I think, in the hall. I'm sorry, yes, madam. And yesterday we just discussed, let us review and restructure the UG curriculum first and then PG curriculum in line with the NEP, New Education Policy. And that's a beautiful, thoughtful document. We can adapt from that very nicely. So I feel that a good class, a good course or a good curriculum has to have the four components. You should have theory, you should have the latest tools and techniques which makes you industry ready. You must have engineering aspect of it, which means you're creating something, and also you should have practice aspect of it where you're testing the whole thing, right? So, and then the startup thing which was discussed with great length. Many of your comments said that we want to take our research into real practice through innovation entrepreneurship. But then you all know there are multiple valleys of death from your idea to proof of concept, from POC to prototype, prototype to product, and product to market. These are all serious valleys of death where you can get lost, okay? But if you can somehow go from paper to patent to business startup and eventually scale up, and the kind of money that you need for these goes up by one order of magnitude. For idea, you can just do for a few thousand rupees. But by the time you want to set up a business, buy land, buy equipment, hire people, do marketing network, oh, you need crores of rupees for that. We need to create the ecosystem for that also. I'm told that a lot of banks have emerged from this area, so the last part may not be very difficult. There's enough money in this region, I'm told, or bankers are there in the region, so maybe we should. So problem is not the first one and last one. The problem is the middle two actually, okay? The most serious valleys of death is the third one, which is the interface between academia and industry. And so, and I know the game because there is a framework which you have developed called as IDEA. where the proof of concept is developed and to take it to develop the solution and deliver, which is test it and finally deploy it in that. I'm showing you one slide of a 4-hour course which we have taught many teachers to how to go become successful in innovation entrepreneurship ecosystem. And with different ways to do that. You can either lock, stock and barrel, transfer your know-how, knowledge and license and give it to someone else, or you can license the IP, take some initial fee, take some royalty, or you can create a social entrepreneurship if you want, or you can create a startup company if you want. Again, there are nuances of these things and we would be talking to the faculty. I'm looking at doing maybe a few directors classes for teachers, okay, those are interested, to go more deep into how we can do this very effectively without extra load, okay, we can do it easily on that. And finally, startup is not the end of the goal, you have to go to the scale up, okay, but you can do that only if you do SOPs, even for businesses, and of course you create your stakeholders network and things like that. This is my last slide which I want to share with you, and stakeholders again make sense for even for institutions like that. We have to take them into our this thing. One is government is only responsible for funding and facilitation, or you can say regulation. Academia is where we do research and development, R&D. I'm talking about from the impact point of view. Industry is where you do your marketing and manufacturing and marketing. And usually they say triple helix, and they talk about government, academy, industry. I said, no, it's not enough. You have to bring society also. Because society is where you identify problems to solve and test the solutions whether they're working or not. So unless all 4 stakeholders are there, we cannot go ahead into that. But this is not enough. We also need incubators, so STEP is important. You also need investors, especially when the startup to scale up is happening. You need crores of rupees for that. You need connections with investors. You also need NGOs, the societies and social organizations and non-governmental, because they are the ones who give you grassroots connection of what the problem is. If you want to solve a agri-tech problem, can you do it without involving farmers? Right? If you want to solve a defense problem, will you do it without involving soldiers? So you have to got to talk to them also. So NGOs give you that valuable connect, okay? And finally the media. You have to have friends in the media. Newspapers and TV channels, and of course your social media, YouTube influencers, and that's a new job these days, okay? Unless you get friends in them, how will you promote your startup companies and what good things, your policies you are doing for the institute? So we need to have all 8 stakeholders, 4 plus 4 stakeholders, to be able to create a successful model, even a successful model institute like this. Okay, so we'll kind of stop here. I want to summarize saying that, let me etch what role we are talking about for each of the stakeholders. Faculty, we would like them to connect research, education, innovation, entrepreneurship. My short form for that is reinvent. Reinvent yourself, reinvent your department, reinvent the institution and the region. From students, I expect them to explore, okay, and discover what is their purpose of life. Every person is born for a certain thing to do. If they can find that purpose of life right here in the 4 years of BTech or MTech or PhD, okay, and they use the time to build capacity and capability in that, I think we have done our job. It's not just teaching partial differential equations in that class. That is just one small part of life. But if we can let them grow and discover themselves, that will be fantastic contribution. From alumni, we have 4 R's. We are looking, the alma mater means nourishing mother, okay? And so the relationship between institution and the alma mater and the alumni has to be mother and children only, and nothing else, okay? What does a mother want? They want the children to return home, have a nice meal, reconnect with your old friends, relive your student days, hostel days. And if you want to walk around and you see something interesting, or you want to do something, you want to redefine your relationship with your institution, by all means you are welcome. That's what I would like the alumni to do, okay? In terms of industry, the local industry, we want to look at collaborative, you can say value addition to them. Can they do more value addition, okay? For whatever they are doing, by short-term and long-term engagements. I talked about continuing education, consulting and so on. In terms of officers, so-called non-teaching staff, in case I'm addressing you only, efficient and effective processes, okay, through SOPs, training and continuing into improvement. Residents, we want to look at smart city and sustainable campus. Remember, a campus is nothing but a living laboratory. You want to do research in some new building material, hey, build it here itself and show us. You want to build a new mechanism for some secure campus, test it here itself. Campus is your living laboratory. It is a microcosm of the real life. If it works here, tomorrow we can go to Mangalore, tomorrow next day we can go to Bangalore, and we can say, hey, it worked in the campus, we want to try it out at a large scale, it's possible to do that. Institutions, regional coalition, society, regular exchange of ideas and resources for equitable progress of society. And let all sections of society come up into the whole thing. Okay, so that is it. So overall, I think this is a very good institute, excellent, good, rich legacy and a good track record. But I think we need to go from good to great. And sometimes, as I say, the good is the enemy of the great, in the sense that we all say we are very good, and you become complacent. So if you want to go from good to great, we have to kick ourselves once again. Okay, that's all it means. And what it means is that you have to not walk is actually small, but you have to run actually now. But as I say, if you want to walk fast, you walk alone. You want to walk far, you have to walk together. But in this case, we have to both walk far and fast. Okay, and we have got to do that. And eventually, can we create a model institute for others to admire, respect, and emulate? A lot of there are Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4 colleges in the country, 2,500 engineering colleges in the country. Can NITK become a model for those institutions? Whatever we do that, okay? And leverage our strengths and create a regional impact. And we all should be able to look back very proudly at India 2047. Okay, I definitely intend to live as long as that, as long as some car doesn't hit me on some highway, okay? But 2047, I'll be 83 years. I'm hoping all of you should plan to live to see the day and look back and saying that India 2047, doesn't matter who told you or who clapped for you, doesn't matter. You know in your heart, I did my best for the country. Whatever opportunities I had got, whatever environment I got, whatever friend circle or colleagues I had got with me, I did my best for the country. Okay. So help me to help you to make this institution great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for a refreshing and thought-provoking outlook about our Foundation Day, which also had your visions about the future positioning of our institute, NITK Surathkal. The tagline being Global Excellence with Local Relevance. Thank you once again, sir. We now request our chief guest and Sri Kamaji Yatnanarayana, founder president of the Alumni Association NITK Surathkal, to do the honors of releasing the Global Convention 14 souvenir. Please, sirs. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This should have been released in December last year. Took more time to print, and the digital form of this has already been sent to people. So Mr. Salyan could not arrive today because of some health issues of his family. So on behalf of him, we are here to release this book. Thank you very much for all the people who have contributed. Also in the campus they have tried, a lot of people have spent a lot of time on this. Thank you all of them. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Alvin Roshan Pais, the Associate Dean, Student Welfare, shall now wrap up the day's event with a vote of thanks. Please, sir.
Respected Director, Professor B. Ravi, Chief Guest of today's function, Air Marshal Chengappa, Registrar, Dean Faculty Welfare, Professor G.C. Mohan Kumar, invited guests, faculty, staff, students, the faculty who have been felicitated for their 25 years of service, staff who have been felicitated for their service to this institute, and the meritorious students and all other guests who are assembled here. Good morning to you all. I deem it a great privilege to have been asked to extend a vote of thanks on this historic occasion of 64th Institute Foundation Day. This day will be remembered in the history of the Institute for a new beginning, for the rediscovering ourselves to make our institute a great one. First of all, I would like to convey my sincere thanks to our Honorable Chief Guest, Air Marshal Chengappa, for accepting our invitation and gracing the occasion. He was very generous in his appreciation to the Institute. We hope to have him again at our Institute on a different occasion to listen to his stories, which are very interesting, and the life in the military services. Thank you, sir. Our director has given us different insight into the different aspects of the Institute. He has provided us a very detailed information about his vision and the way ahead for the development of this institute. We think that with his guidance at the helm of affairs as director of this institute, we will be able to move forward and make this institute a great one. On behalf of the entire NITK fraternity, I convey my sincere thanks to our director. Thank you, sir. I also would like to extend my sincere thanks to Professor G.C. Mohan Kumar for being with us and gracing the occasion. Thank you, sir. I take this opportunity to thank Mr. K. Ravindranath, Registrar NITK Surathkal, for his enormous support and guidance in organizing this event. Thank you, sir. I extend my thanks to our organizing team, deans, associate deans, HODs, center heads, joint registrar, faculty, staff, students, assistant registrars, alumni, security officer, RE office, PRO, all the meritorious students, the faculty and staff who have come here, all other members who have made our day on the occasion of 64th Foundation Day. Thank you. I would also like to thank Dr. Sheena, Associate Professor and Head, School of Management, for taking care of this ceremony and enlightening us with different insights of the function. Thank you, Madam. I would also like to thank Mr. K. Yajnarayana, the alumni who has released the souvenir of GC14, and all other alumni who have come here and they have graced the occasion to make us happy. Thank you, all the alumni, for being with us. I also would like to thank the Ladies Club members for gracing the occasion on the occasion of Institute Foundation Day. Thank you. And I thank all the NITK family members who have directly or indirectly supported us in making this celebration a memorable one. Once again, I thank one and all present here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Please rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तब जय गाता जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you all for your presence and have a good day.